हेलो एवरीवन। जायके के सफर के अगले एपिसोड में आप सबका स्वागत है। और आज हमारे साथ हैं मिस्टर इंद्रजीत लहरी, जो आज हम लोगों को बताने वाले हैं चिंडियन यानी आपके फेवरेट इंडो चाइनीज खाने के बारे में। तो वेलकम सर एंड थैंक यू सो मच फॉर ज्वाइनिंग अस एंड थैंक यू सो मच फॉर शेयरिंग योर वैल्यूएबल टाइम विद अस।
It's always a pleasure talking to people, interacting with people, and Delhi Foodworks is one of my most favorite non-recipe food vlogging channels. So it's an honor being here.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Means a lot. So before we get in the talk, I would just like to describe what we are actually gonna talk about. So today we'll be talking about how the Indo-Chinese food actually came up in India. And as you all know that in China, the concept of food is completely different than what we actually assume to be Chinese food.
Right.
We'll be talking about how this farm originated and now what Chinese food is like, how it has influenced our cuisine. So it has a very interesting story and history. So if you stay till the end, you'll be able to catch up everything. Yeah. So, sir, before we start, how did your journey with the food actually started?
See, honestly, food blogging or food vlogging is not my primary profession. I run an IT company by the name Pickle Solutions, and we work on IT project management.
Right.
But somewhere in, I think 2014, I started writing on a food blog by the name Moha Mushkil, MOHA-MUSHKIL.com. So it's that old-fashioned blog kind of a blog where people write and people read that thing, not this YouTube wala thing. That's the time when I started writing about food. And it was a non-recipe. Primarily, wherever I went, how was the food? मुझे अच्छा लगा, बुरा लगा, बहुत बुरा लगा, बहुत अच्छा लगा. क्या लगा वो मैंने लिखना चालू किया. But after a couple of years, let's say around 2016, 2017, I grew an interest about food history. अब food history means क्या है कि इंडिया में ना हम लोग उतना डॉक्यूमेंट नहीं करते हैं. That's one of our negative traits. What we do is we immortalize things by folklores, by songs, by poetry. इन सब चीजों के माध्यम से हम लोग उसको अमर बनाते हैं. So whatever I write is mostly collected information, first hand or second hand. I visit a lot of places and I call them as folklores, as serious folklores, because if somebody wants a documented proof, if somebody wants a clear documentation, it might not be the case. And I am honestly not any qualified historian or food anthropologist to discuss on those historical terms. Right. What I do is कि हम लोग जो खाना खाते हैं उसके बारे में एक कहानी होती है. सब चीज के बारे में what I believe is everything has got a backstory and I tend to share that backstory. It may be correct, it may be a folklore, it may be a fantasy, but whatever is it, जो सुनने में अच्छा लगे, जो खाने में अच्छा लगे, हम लोग वही बोलते हैं. That is where Foodka came into play. So we work on a YouTube channel called Foodka, that is FOODKA, with one of my colleagues, friends, mentor, one of the most popular performers of eastern part of the country, Mir Afsar Ali. So we started on a food storytelling journey. हम लोग बहुत सी जगह पे जाके खाना खाते थे और वो खाने के बारे में कहानियां बताते थे और हम लोगों का पसंदीदा कौन कौन सा जगह है. पकड़ लीजिए, let's take any food item like biryani. So there are maybe hundreds or 500 biryani places in Calcutta, but whichever 5, 6, 7 of our most favorite places, we spoke about them, we featured them. यही करते हैं food का में. So now, as per record, Moha Mushkil blog is having more than 300 articles and Foodka is having more than 60 episodes. 60 episodes, I know, is not a huge number, but okay, that's our second baby, or my third baby, in fact. ऐसे चालू हुआ.
That's amazing. I think, as I was listening to you, I was also thinking that, when we talk about food industry, one part is actually cooking and having food, and the other part is, talking about food and going into the deep and, providing another perspective about the
right.
food. which actually makes people connected to that particular food. I might be eating a particular very native dish of South India, let's say, and I might not know what it is. I will not feel very connected, but if someone will tell me, how this is how it originated, I will suddenly make that eating thing into a very certain kind of experience. So I think that is what the wonder of storytelling and food lores, as they say now, does.
So we call ourselves, just like you said, as we are storytellers. हम
Yeah.
लोग कहानियां बुनते हैं. और पकड़ लीजिए मेरा बेटा जो है 11 साल के उम्र का है. So he loves pizza. Now, if I telling about if I go for brand X or brand Y, else I may tell him that there is a pizza called Neapolitan, which originated from this. There is something known as a thin crust pizza. It came from this. There is a Chicago pizza. So kya hoga? He will feel interested. He will remember those things. And we understand, I'm at my mid-40. So we understand if I would try to teach someone, वो सुन भी सकता है, नहीं भी सुन सकता. There is a possibility. But if I tell them a story, there's a much higher chance of them remembering it. इसी के अनुसार चालू हुआ ये फूड का और महामुश्किल journey of us in the Lahiri, जो भी है.
Wow, amazing. So, coming back to the topic, Indo-Chinese food, or how people actually term it as Chindian food these days, it can be a very cliche topic for few to talk about. But then, when not a lot of people actually talk that how actually it got commercialized in India. So, talking about the origins, how did it actually came into being in India, especially when we do not see a lot of Chinese as such Chinese influence in our native food, and we don't actually if we are not in very very friendly terms with taste buds of
At
Chinese
least
food.
nowadays.
Yeah. So I was talking
Okay.
about the food. Like, a lot of people would say they eat boiled noodles and boiled this and boiled that. Not so. How did this spicy and totally indulgent version of food loaded with Ajinomoto came into being?
So if we start talking about this Chindian food, we need to understand or talk about what is a Chinese food in the first place. आप ये बताइए, if someone tells me that I love Indian food, what do you understand? Almost nothing, right?
Yeah.
So a butter chicken is vastly different from a dosa, which is vastly different from a machar jhol, and which is different from a rasgulla. So there is nothing Indian food as such. So there is a North Indian food. Even there are divisions, like Kashmiri food is different from Delhi food, or which is different from a Lucknow Awadhi food.
And then
Similarly, correct. Then micro cuisines. Like if I talk about say Tamil Nadu, there are 4 to 5 influence like Sahibu, like lot of cuisines are there.
Right.
These are called, as you rightly said, micro cuisines. So if we talk about China, there are 5 to 6 major regions. Like a Hunan food from Hunan province would taste vastly different from a Mandarin food, which will be different from a Szechuan food, which will be different from a Cantonese food. अभी ये शुरू कहाँ से हुआ? At around end of say around 1770 or 1780, the story started from a broke businessman named Tong Achew. So that gentleman, उनका business flop हो गया इंग्लैंड पे, और वो आके पहुंचे अभी का जो वेस्ट बंगाल का जो जगह है, it's now named as Ochipur. So he reached that place and started something as a sugarcane factory.
Right.
Now, by Chinese cuisine or Chindian cuisine, we understand only that Chinese wala food, that chow mein, chili chicken, Szechuan, whatever we have. But Chinese influence in Indian cuisine goes much beyond that. If I talk of Indian sweets, Bengal sweets, which we take pride in, one of the primary ingredient is sugar, white granulated sugar. लेकिन ये चीनी जो है, शुगर जो है, ये चालू हुआ टोंग एचयू आने के बाद. उसके पहले क्या था? There used to be an uncut, non-granulated thing known as shakkar. There used to be michri. Michri means you can say rock sugar.
Yeah.
There used to be jaggery. These three things, and natural sweetener of milk. So there was nothing named as the white granular sugar which we see today. So Tong HU or chini. अब ये चीनी नाम कहाँ से आया? So Tong HU, when he started the sugarcane factory, he started producing this sugar. So this sugar was made by a Chinaman, China, Chini. That is how this name came into play. So Chini has nothing to do with any other thing than the Chinese origin. In fact, this name Ochipur, that name of the place, came from Tong Achu, Achi,
Nice.
Ochi. So it's like that. Now, what happens? This gentleman, he couldn't run his business, run his sugarcane mill in Ochipur. That business again failed. He actually, kismat ne unka sahara nahi diya. That business failed, and those Chinamen, they came down to the nearest metro city, Calcutta. Calcutta was very different that time, and it was a British capital. So, यहाँ पे जो central Calcutta है, there is a place called Poddar Court. It's in central Calcutta. They came here, got settled, and started their primary business of 3 or 4 things. One is laundry, one is tannery, that processing of leather. One is they were dentists, 3, and these 3 things primarily. Now, these skill sets, they came from different regions of China, and they started coming here and started working. Tanneries were set up in the middle of the city, in the heart of the city, called Poddar Court, and it was probably the oldest Chinese ghetto in India. Not probably, I'm almost sure it was the oldest Chinese ghetto in Calcutta. But British didn't like them. और उनको वहां से हटा दिया गया शहर का जो किनारा है, that time suburb, which is now known as Tangra. Tangra is now very much a part of Calcutta. The city grew in leaps and bounds. So Tangra was the second Chinese ghetto, and there came a lot of restaurants. And the lady named Monica Liu, he's more popularly known as the Dawn of Chinatown. She got settled here. So that's how Chinese cuisine started coming in India. Now, what happened? There mostly were Cantonese food. They started they started selling this thing. I think the first registered restaurant in Calcutta was known as Nanking. And Nanking was there in the ground floor of a church. Church name, I'm just forgetting, Tumgong or something. I'll check and get back to you on that part. Nanking, they served mostly boiled noodles, steamed rice with a lot of meat or vegetables, sauteed vegetables. But every business needs local patrons. Yeah. So when locals started coming in, they started looking for the spicy food, the oily food. And certain customization started taking place, like chili chicken. Actually, Chinese cuisine में जो है ना, वो green chili कभी लगता ही नहीं है. So there is no use of a green chili. But they started customizing their chicken. They deep fried the chicken into some chicken pakora, started tossing it with green chilies and chopped chilies. Ajinomoto came into play. Chili chicken was involved. Manchurian chicken was probably involved, introduced in Mumbai. Some chicken pakora were done, and which was tossed in some gravy. Hakka chow mein, like noodle tossed in with veggies and meat and egg and chili sauce, soy sauce, tomato sauce, and whatnot. Fried rice, like if somebody goes to China today and asks for some fried rice chili chicken, which is almost a national dish in India, after biryani, of course, we love our biryani. This Chinaman, this typical Chinaman will actually be shocked. There is nothing like that in China. Szechuan chicken came from the Szechuan region, but still they didn't use red chili, which we use here in the Szechuan chicken. I am not very sure about Delhi cuisine. I'm not really very frequent in Delhi, but in Calcutta, by Szechuan chicken, we understand chicken tossed with whole red chilies and red chili sauce, and it's a very, very spicy thing. So in China, they use Szechuan pepper, which is a different thing from red chili altogether. So this is the Chindian cuisine. Now we spoke about sugar, चीनी के बारे में बात किए, Chinese cuisine के बारे में बात किए. तीसरा जो चीज है जो चाइनीज लोगों ने इंट्रोड्यूस किया इंडिया में, दैट इज द टी. Tea was first introduced by the Chinese, popularized by British. So these are two different things. Tea is a very, very, very popular item in China. It was a very popular item in China. Probably, as the folklore goes, it was introduced here by Chinese. British helped in it and made them hugely popular. So ये तीन चीजें जो है, sugar, Chinese food, chow mein, chili chicken, and tea. These three things got introduced by the Chinese community.
I also remember, I think the tea was smuggled into our borders by some Indian men through China, and they were very particular that they would not share the crop. Now it's a folklore. I'm not sure how far is it true.
Again, we Indians we are not very good at documenting. It's said that once a
Yeah.
European even goes for a hunting, there is a separate man who accompany him and document the entire process. But we are not very particular on that part. Even there goes a folklore about a coffee. I'm very sure you know about that.
Yeah, the same one.
There's a gentleman Baba Budan who smuggled this coffee within his beards, and there is a Baba Budan mountain in Nilgiri. So strange things.
But yeah, that is interesting as far as, but you know, we're also losing on to a lot of information which was very credible. Yeah. So the next question is that, you know, while Chinese actually entered our premises and they started doing, so how did the commercialization of food in different part of India happen? Because it started from Kolkata, and you know it must have taken some time now. So we have social media, food jo ek jagah banta hai, it's already advertised in the other part. But then, how did it actually got commercialized into all the other regions of India? Because you know now, even if you go to the hills, you see chow mein ka thela and chili chicken being served, and mind it that no local food is served there on that big scale. Jitne mein wahan pe Chinese milta hai, which is very sad. So how did this commercialization happen?
चाइनीज फूड का ना कुछ खासियत है. पकड़ लीजिए, आपके पास अगर बॉइल्ड नूडल्स होता है या कच्चे नूडल्स होते हैं जिसको बॉईल किया जाए, 3-4 टाइप का सॉस होता है, कुछ मीट होता है, कुछ वेजिटेबल्स होता है, उसमें से आप 10-12 डिश बना ही लोगे. दैट्स अ रियलिटी. 10-12 डिश जो है वो अलग अलग खाने में अलग अलग टाइप के होंगे, एंड यू डोंट नीड many ingredients like in a Indian cuisine, let's say in the Bengali cuisine or in a Marathi cuisine. There are very specific spices, there are very specific tempering, there are very specific spice mix. In Chinese cuisine, it mostly relies on a couple of sauces. So if you have some 3-4 sauce, if you have some meat, some veggies and noodle and rice, you can almost run a Chinese kitchen if you even have a wok. तो क्या हुआ, कलकत्ता में ये चालू हुआ. Now Calcutta used to be the British capital during those times. Britishers traveled a lot. Probably they took a cook from here to Mumbai, to Delhi, to other places. Probably Chinamen, they started understanding the business possibility. Chinese are very, very, very good businessmen.
Right.
So wherever they get some opportunity, they can get themselves settled. They can hog around a lot, they can struggle a lot, and they can get their things popular. So हो सकता है कि वो लोग जाके वहां पे चालू किए हो. Mumbai, in fact, I think this dish, if I'm not very wrong, this dish named Manchurian chicken, it was introduced in Mumbai itself and got popular in other parts of India. तो फैल गया बिजनेस. वही बिजनेस का क्या है, जहां जाए जहां स्कोप है फैल जाएगा.
Right, and then I think local traders also they play their role in promoting the business
very
to other
much,
states.
Very much.
Yeah.
If I talk of even Momo, it was brought
Momos,
to
yeah.
India by a community named Niwadi communities. So they first came to Nepal, but then they came to Kalimpong, then to Delhi, then to Bangalore. And Momo almost became the 3rd or 4th largest selling item all across India. And it has got nothing to do with the Indian food. It's a bland one served with a lot of it's a very spicy sauce. यहाँ पे हम लोग ये नहीं बोल रहे कि उसके ऊपर मेयोनीज डाल दो, खाने में सही लगता है, मना नहीं कर रहा हूँ. But lot of my Tibetan friends or Kalimpong friends from hills, they just run to kill me if I tell them that I like a momo with mayonnaise.
So I think When I was a child, the first time I had a momo, there was no concept of mayonnaise with the momos. In fact, we didn't know what was mayonnaise. There was
Yes.
no commercialized mayonnaise. This was almost 12 to 14 years back from today, and
That time,
at
momo was a new item, in fact.
yeah.
Almost a
So
new item. I won't say new
right.
item, but
I remember the first time I had a momo, I saw it, I was fascinated, and मैंने बोला भैया एक piece try कराना, अगर अच्छा नहीं लगा तो I won't take it, because it
huh,
looked bit shady.
naturally,
It was like,
naturally.
yeah. So
It's not Instagram worthy.
right,
It doesn't
right,
look that good.
but now it looks, because it
Now
has
it looks
the
good.
taste attached to it. So also with momos, how it evolved. It got this mayonnaise, and then fried momos came, then tandoori momos, then Afghani momos,
All those things,
gravy
Afghani
momos.
tandoori, even kothi,
Yeah.
jhol
So
momo,
right,
everything. A
jhol
lot of
momo.
things came in.
A lot of things came in. So I think now, if we talk about Indian street food, we have adapted the culture of momos, and it is a very important part of our food industry nowadays. Similarly, Chinese food has also progressed from uh, just chow mein to, I think, now the gobi Manchurian and chili chicken, and now chili mushroom. I don't know, matlab, every time I go to restaurants, there's something new which is made from Chinese. As you said, those five sauces, five spices, which will make up of 1,000 dishes. So how did this progression happen? Was it just instinctive that chefs or the cooks just made something, and they sailed it, or like was it something? Ha- does that something have a story with it?
So, India as a country, we are a confluence of culture. We tend to take the good things from other cultures, give our input, and make them our own. अभी
Hmm.
हम लोग को टेस्ट पसंद आ गया होगा तो हम लोग उसको लेके अपना कुछ ना कुछ बना ही लेंगे. पकड़ लीजिए चिली चिकन, किसी बंदे ने लाके चिकन को पकौड़ा बना दिया, उसको चिली सोया टोमेटो सॉस में टॉस कर दिए, ग्रीन चिली डाल दिए, खत्म कहानी, हो गया इंडिया का नेशनल डिश. किसी को नूडल्स ला दिए तो उसमें ऑनियन वनियन कैप्सिकम कुछ अजीनामोटो डाल दिया. एक्चुअली मेरे घर में मेरे बचपन में जब बनता था उसमें आलू प्याज भी काट काट के डाले जाते थे. पता नहीं दिल्ली में क्या होता है, बंगाल में तो वो बहुत बनता था, हम लोग टिफिन में लेके जाते थे. So just like my mother used to cook a curry, an Indian curry, a Bengali curry, they used to cook the chow mein like that. They used to cook the fried rice like that. So that's the way it is. We tend to adapt. और आज के दिन में क्या है ना, किसी भी आप 70% या एक बड़ा परसेंटेज को पकड़ लीजिए.
Yeah.
हम लोग रेस्टोरेंट में जाते हैं, पूरा चाइनीज का मेनू आगे पीछे ऊपर नीचे पढ़ते हैं, पढ़ के ऑर्डर दे देते हैं, बॉस ये चिकन स्वीट कॉर्न सूप 2x3, and then some mixed fried rice, mixed chicken, mixed fried rice, hakka noodle or gravy noodle, chili chicken, and sweet and sour chicken. That's it. So these 5-6 items have become the cult of Chinese cuisine.
Right.
If I talk to them about spinach dishes, if I talk to them about a very specific sauce, they are not really very popular because they don't gel with our palate. They are not customized for our palate. अभी हम लोग को पता ही नहीं है कि मैंडरिन क्विजीन के साथ हुनान का क्या डिफरेंस. हम लोग को पता है शेजवान है तो मतलब बहुत तीखापन होगा.
Right.
मैंडरिन में मतलब कुछ ना कुछ वो मछली मिल जाएगा, स्टीम फिश मिल जाएगा, इतना तक पता है बस, एंड वी आर हैप्पी विद इट. सो पर्सनली एज इंद्रजीत लहरी और एज फूड का, आई एम नॉट रियली a very big fan of this term called authentic food. As per me, authenticity, the definition of authenticity changed every 50 years. Every 50 to 60 years, some brilliant chef or home chef came into play. They changed the recipe. They made it taste brilliant. तो वो अपनापन ला दिए. पकड़ लीजिए,
Right.
बंगाल में माछेर झोल पकड़ते हैं. So mache jhol is cooked in almost 40-50 different ways, and who knows which one is authentic. मेरे घर में तो 10 तरह के बनते हैं. So that's it. That's about the Chinese food, Chingian food.
Right. Also, talking about authenticity, I heard a person talking about this, and he or she claimed it that the first time a dish was made, that was authentic, and after that, if it's not recorded, nothing after that is authentic. It maybe,
Correct.
it may not be. So you can say it's the traditional way, it's an ideal way of
It's the
saying, without,
traditional way.
yeah, it doesn't hurt sentiments of a lot of people, because let's say I am from Uttarakhand, and if my mother is making bhatki churkani, which I have been eating since I was born, and if let's say my aunt is making another bhatki churkani, both can be different, both can be tasty, but I
Yes.
cannot claim that this is authentic just because I was grown on it. We can say, yeah, this is the traditional way. This also brings me to the point that it's interesting when Indian food was not documented, because now you can travel miles for just one dish and you will see different variations of it, and it will never end. Your hunt will never end. That is one aspect, but I think more or less there are a lot of pros and cons both of not having a documented cuisine of our own.
Very much. Say, I'll
Hmm.
take an example for my Moha Mushkil blog, but that blog wala blog, that writing wala blog. I'm trying to document sweets of Bengal. So there
Okay.
are various districts in West Bengal, and I'm trying to document the primary sweets there. Honestly, once this project is over, this will be the first stepping stone of sweets of Bengal. And nobody has
Hmm.
documented it before. I don't know the reason. I don't know the reason, but once I searched on Google, there was nothing. तो किसी को तो ये शुरू करना पड़ेगा ना, किसी को तो ये पॉपुलर करना पड़ेगा. पकड़
Right.
लीजिए डेली फूड वर्क्स में, you talk of a lot on native Bihari cuisine, Kumayani food. These are not really very popular. We do
Yeah.
not understand what is Himachali food.
Hmm.
We do not understand Bihari food beyond लिट्टी चोखा. लिट्टी चोखा अभी चंपारण मीट, उसके बाहर क्या होता
Maximum.
है
Yeah.
उसको तो किसी को पता ही नहीं है.
Sometimes dal pitha also, but not more than
बस
that.
खत्म, ठेकुआ
Yeah.
खत्म, बिहारी फूड खत्म. हिमाचली खाने में क्या बनता है वो किसी को पता ही नहीं. अपने को इतना भी नहीं पता कि इंडिया में कितने तरह के बिरयानी बनते हैं.
Yeah.
Biryani being almost the national dish of India. So in my blog, I have documented around 30, 25, 30 varieties. There is a very good friend from the channel, Rocky and Mayur. So they told me they have tasted more than 150 varieties. तो अभी तक इंडिया में यही किसी को नहीं पता कि कितने तरह के बिरयानी होते हैं.
Yeah.
बाकी चीजों को तो भूल जाइए. उसमें हम लोग लड़ते हैं कि कलकत्ता बिरयानी वर्सेस हैदराबादी बिरयानी वर्सेस लखनऊ बिरयानी. वो
Oh God.
मारामारी तो हमेशा चलता रहता है.
I think it's a very sad thing to compare dishes of two different origins and
Both are good.
flavors.
Both are good.
Both are
खत्म
good.
कहानी.
Yeah. Yeah. Someone likes spicy, someone likes it with potato. And I
Yes.
think, these dishes which have very strong affinity to the human thing, our memory actually grows with the food. So like if you must be growing up with a certain type of biryani, I must have grown up with a certain type of biryani, and it may not be the best one, but I will always relate to that biryani because I have memories with it. So in that case, I cannot really say, even if I would like Lucknowi biryani more than Delhi biryani, I won't really say that that is better, because I think everything is good in its own terms.
And secondly, with time, our palate changes. बचपन
Yeah.
में हम लोग जब खाते थे, मेरे पापा मुझे लेके जाते थे महीने में एक बार दो बार. So we used to taste those gravy noodles, this chow mein with a lot of gravy served on top, veggies. Nowadays we call that thing pan fried noodles. The noodles braised on a hard surface, it
Yeah.
becomes crispy and then some gravy is put on top. But now, after a lot of travel to other countries, other places, much during my food blogging stint for last 5, 6, 7 years, my palate has evolved. Now I can judge. I judge food. I shouldn't be judging, I know, but I judge food कि ये ऐसा होना चाहिए, वो ऐसा होना चाहिए. अभी मैं ये नहीं बोल रहा हूँ कि हम लोग जो बोल रहे हैं that's the best one.
Yeah.
लेकिन मेरे लिए मेरा खाना सबसे अच्छा है, आपके लिए आपका खाना
True.
सबसे अच्छा है.
Right.
For example, I am biased towards black pepper and garlic. So an overdose of garlic means a good food for me. Now, if someone hates garlic, he will hate that particular dish. So that's the reality.
Yeah.
And probably that's the beauty of
Right.
Indian food.
True. Also, like you said, we evolve. So I have been noticing that lately, from past 1 year, I've been into really simple flavors, Like, you know,
Yes,
you use less spices and you let the flavor of the raw ingredient,
correct.
especially, you know, it actually builds up a, let's say if I'm using something which is grown on my terrace or it's fresh from some farm, the flavor will not need really a lot of spices, just one or two to complement it, and it brings out the flavor well. So these days I'm very much into such food which is actually simple, and if I'm eating dal that I don't want to taste you know, lot of jeera and all of that stuff, I want
No,
to
you
just
want to taste
taste them.
simple food.
Yeah, I want to taste dal mainly. So but a lot of people won't really, you know, um coincide with that kind of ideology and philosophy. So I think the philosophy of food also plays an important role, and it changes from time to time, and it also depends on what kind of exposure we have to the food around ourselves. So and this is exactly the opposite of Indian food, because it has a lot of strong flavors happening. If you see, like, we have soya happening, and you know, in restaurants they're putting broth powders in it, aromats which are actually nothing but MSGs, and then we have lot of seasonings which are like pepper ja raha hai, and chili paste ja raha hai, onion, garlic, and so many different type of flavors at various levels. And so these days, cooking Chinese food itself is an art, you know. When restaurants are hiring chefs, they need that आप Asian में skilled हो, आप Chinese में skilled हो, then only you are in. So that is also one thing which Chilean food had done. So moving on to the next thing. While I was speaking that, I also realized that, you know, Chinese food or the Chilean food now, what is for our Indian thing is that it's really replicable at home also. You get just 2 to 3 main ingredients, and any mother will make, you know, fairly good enough in Chinese thing. Obviously, you cannot match that when you add MSGs and all sort of purana tel
No,
into
and
it.
that flame, that high flame,
Flame,
that cooking
exactly.
in
I
a
was about to
wok,
say that.
that
Yeah,
matters a lot.
that matters a lot, because it actually doesn't, it sautes it and it doesn't let it
Correct.
burn, and cooks it very high heat, and it maintains the texture. But we still do a fairly job, our mother does that.
Yes, yes,
So
yes, yes, yes.
yeah, I remember eating this macaroni in my school days, which had a lot of soya in it. But you know,
हाँ, we have all tried that.
yeah,
वो चाउमीन जो बोल रहा था ना, मेरे घर में बनता था, उसमें आलू प्याज डाला जाता था, उसमें शायद जीरा का तड़का भी लगाया जाता था. The idea was to make it taste good, कि बच्चे खा
yeah,
ले.
khale.
उसके ऊपर क्या होता है भगवान जाने.
So my mother made a very strange combination. She used to add mustard oil, raw mustard oil,
Hmm.
and it used to taste good. Like, you know, now I miss that flavor.
अभी मैं एक कहानी बोलना चाहूंगा. So we
Hmm.
were traveling to this area named in पहाड़ों पे चौकड़ी बीनसर जहाँ घूमने गए थे.
Almora, yeah.
Almora, yes.
Hmm.
So that part we stopped for lunch on a roadside dhaba, and the only item available there was Maggie. Maggie has almost become another national food in India. तो मैगी वो साहब जो थे वो ढाबा वाले वो बोले कि साहब आप मैगी ऐसे क्यों खाते हैं मैं मसाला मैगी बना के खिलाता हूँ वो मसाला मैगी क्या था वो मैगी बनाए बॉईल किए मैगी का मसाला छोड़ दिए उसमें कुछ प्याज टमाटर भून के डाल दिए जीरा वीरा धनिया लाल मिर्च गरम मसाला जो भी था वो सब डाल दिए डाल डूल के वो बॉइल्ड मैगी को उस पर डाल दिए एंड इट एक्चुअली टेस्टेड वेरी गुड इट एक्चुअली टेस्टेड गुड और आज के दिन भी हम लोग घर में मैं मेरी बीवी को जब बोलता हूँ कि वो मसला मैगी मसला मीन्स मसाला इन बंगाली सो इवन टुडे वी लाइक masala maggi taste matters at the end of
Yeah,
the
it does.
whole damn thing taste matters to us and we
True.
Indians are quite finicky about our taste bud we don't care about authenticity we want that
Even I think, you know, very great chefs of our country, when they actually want to have the comfort food, they'll be like, dal do, you know, it should taste good, it should be according to
it
my
should
taste,
taste
doesn't
good
matter. Yeah, yeah. So that is a huge philosophy of food, actually, even in the restaurants. And
even
also,
even
yeah.
if you take a thing of pasta so
Hmm.
मेरे बचपन में ना वो पास्ता अच्छे लगते थे जिसपे चीज ज्यादा होते थे या जिसमें सॉस ज्यादा होते थे ड्यूरिंग माय यूथ नाउ I actually cannot have a pasta with sauce. I prefer olio olio. So that
Yeah.
is how our palates evolve. That is how our preferences evolve or change over time. That happens all the time.
Also, as you say this, it's so interesting, that how when our food habits change, it also reflects a lot about our choices and our personality.
Yes, yes, yes.
It does so. Also, Chinese food, I wanted to mention that I've noticed that so I was a part of a culinary college, and
Mm-hmm.
I've been there for 3 years. So my choices of food actually they evolved in 3 years because obviously you
Naturally,
get exposed to a lot of stuff.
naturally.
Yeah, but my friends from especially from school, they were in a mainstream colleges. They were not exposed to that culinary exposure, and it is very normal to not get exposed to culinary exposure during your college days. So whenever we would go to a restaurant, I would be like, let's try something new which we have not tried before. And I would be in that area, and all of them would be like, "Yaar, kuch bhi mangao, one a saucy pasta, and mainly it should be mixed sauce, and
Pink
one chili
pasta.
potato. Yeah, one chili potato and one chili chicken should be there. Rest we
हाँ.
don't
और
care."
आगे आगे आप कुछ भी बोल लो.
Now then the pizza and momos are the staple. So I used to get pissed off. I would say, "आप इतने महंगे restaurant में आए हो just to eat the chili potatoes? Why? Let's eat it at a dhaba. It's better there." So I would not understand that thing, but now I understand that what was the perspective and how people,
They want
actually like it.
safe food. कि इतना
Yes,
पैसा देते हैं. I need food as per my taste palette, and which is not bad, honestly.
right, right.
Now at my age, I have started understanding or respecting others' point of view. एक उम्र था जब हम लोग बोलते थे नहीं मैं ही सही हूँ बाकी सब लोग गलत है.
Hmm.
तो now we have started understanding कि हाँ भाई
Each
पैसा तो वो
others.
भी दे रहा है. पैसा तो
Right.
वो भी दे रहा है. So they would need something. Say, let's say if I order a chicken in black bean sauce, that might not appeal to everybody.
Right,
But if
right,
I
right.
order a dry chili chicken with a lot of spice, that will appeal to almost
Almost everyone.
90% of the crowd.
Yeah.
उनको पता है कि क्या एक्सपेक्ट करने वाले हैं, क्या आने वाला है. So there is a point of expectation management which works for this.
Yeah. So Chinese food has created a niche in Indian food industry. Like a lot of people actually take it as their safe food or now even comfort food. And I recently went for my cousin's birthday party. I remember my aunt saying that, one very staple North Indian thing is chole bhature, which almost everyone will like. And another is now the chow mein. It was like, bana do bachchon ko, badon ko, sabko hi acha lagta hai. This was what my aunt was saying. I was thinking that, it was true because it is made in such a way, the combination of ingredients is such that आप कुछ भी डालो in soya sauce and chili, it
सबको
actually,
अच्छा लगता है.
yeah,
कुछ ना
because
कुछ
soya,
डाल दो यार, कुछ ना कुछ डाल के बना
right,
दो.
right, because at the end soya is umami and you would like
Yes,
it, right.
yes,
And
very
fried
much.
rice, right, also an interesting fact. So when I actually I didn't know the concept of biryani. I am from a vegetarian family, and but I lately became actually non-vegetarian because of my career choices. So and so now my family also didn't know what actual biryani is. So what my mother used to cook as biryani was nothing but the fried rice. You won't believe, till 4 years back, not even 3 years back, I actually had the fried rice and I thought it is the biryani. And when I
That's
went
okay.
outside, yeah, and it was in soya sauce and everything. That is the influence of Indian food over
It's okay.
our culture. Yeah,
Indian food means something cooked with noodles, some boneless chicken, round shaped or flat things,
yeah,
and some chicken we can toast with some strange oriental veggies. That's it.
right, right, right,
That's how it works in
right,
India.
right. So now there's another concept which is called as Chinjabi food, which is a mixture of Chinese and Punjabi.
Okay.
What do you? So I recently heard it last year, one of the videos on Instagram that Chinjabi food, things like street style butter chicken pasta. Or pasta with a lot of masalas and some cut vegetable like capsicum, just
वो
diced
खुशने से भी तो
vegetables.
मेरी अभी तक हुई नहीं. उतना खुशने से तो
Yeah.
मैं हुआ नहीं आज तक. लेकिन कोशिश करूंगा. I have started learning कि खाना अच्छा होना चाहिए. Honestly, I haven't been to China, so I cannot comment on the taste of a first-hand Chinese cuisine.
Right, right, right.
All I have tasted are maybe food cooked by Chinese chefs, travel for food festivals in multiple restaurants or hotels or premium joints. लेकिन चाइना तो मैं गया नहीं ना, तो
That
कैसे
too
बोलूं
made
ये
according
चाइनीज
to
है.
the local people.
हाँ, तो वो लोग जो बनाते हैं वही हमको खाना है, इट्स अ
Right.
रियलिटी।
True. True.
लेकिन खाने में तो अच्छा होना चाहिए, उसको तो कोई कुछ बोल ही नहीं सकता।
True. So, a lot of people think that Chinese food is just boiled food, but they don't know that China also has one of the micro cuisine of China is one of the most spicy cuisines in the world. And so, because China is obviously geographically very, very huge, so obviously a lot of food variations are there. But how this Indian Chinese food traveled through the globe? This is very interesting.
We Indians, we are scattered all across the globe. That's a reality.
Yeah.
And everywhere, if you go to, well, let me tell you a story first. There are 3, 4 civilizations which are very, very old. Indian, Chinese, Egyptian, Middle Eastern.
Mesopotamian, I believe, yeah.
मेसोपोटामियन। तो पकड़ लीजिए, जहां जिस टाइम यूरोपियंस वो लोग मीट को लकड़ी पे डाल के रोस्ट करते थे और उसी को खाते थे, हम लोग तब स्पाइसेस के ट्रेडिंग करते थे। सो वी आर मच अहेड इन टाइम। जब चाइनीज और इंडियंस वी यूज्ड टू वर्क ऑन द फाइनर स्पाइस मिक्सेस, finer sauce mixes. European cuisine was just evolving. French cuisine is what? 400-500 years old at the max.
Yeah.
But Indian or Chinese, they're thousands of year olds. So there has to be micro nuances, a finesse have come in. If I talk just of Bengali cuisine, there is a very, very fine spice mix, and with the same ingredients, some lady from Kashmir will cook an entirely different dish than a lady from Bengal, than a lady from Tamil Nadu. So that's the beauty of a huge country. Similarly, with the similar ingredients, a lady from Yunnan would be cooking strikingly different dish from a lady from Szechuan or a Mandarin or Guangdong. So
Yeah.
different provinces, the cooking style is different. Somewhere it's more boiled, somewhere it's more broiled, somewhere it's stir fried. Depends. And in Chinese cuisine, in general, the main ingredient is boiled, which is supposed to have with a lot of sauces, which is cooked with a lot of sauces. But that's the same thing in our northeastern cuisine even.
Yeah.
If I talk of Khasi food or Meghalai food, so the meat is boiled and it's eaten with a lot of chutneys. So that's it.
Right. So also I feel that how while you were saying that the same mixes can be made in so many different ways, especially in complex cuisine like Indian. A lot of people have this notion that cooking Indian food is very easy. Oh, you cook Indian food, especially in restaurant industry I'm talking about. It's often looked upon, still till now. So I've been working in few restaurants, and people still feel that if you're cooking Western food or continental food, as they say, which is nothing but Western food, I would say, then they feel that you have some skills, you're actually doing something good. But if you're cooking Indian food, then yeah, it's okay. Like that kind of notion is existing. But
वो तो कहा जाता है ना, घर का मुर्गी दाल बराबर। अभी यहाँ
exactly.
पे ऐसा ही हो गया। So if I talk in
Exactly.
English, I am a civilized person. हम लोग अगर हिंदी में
Right.
बात करें तो ये तो गंवार है, उसको कुछ आता ही नहीं है। या बंगाली में
बिल्कुल
बात
भी।
करें, लाइक
राइट।
यहाँ पे कैलकाटा में अगर आप बंगाली में बात करो, यू आर अ रेगुलर गाय। लेकिन अगर आप इंग्लिश में बात करो with American accent like this and that and this sort of things, you are a civilized person.
Right.
अभी ये माना जाता है, ये कितना सच है कितना झूठ है वो तो अलग चीज है, लेकिन अभी है, ऐसा है तो है, क्या करें। लेकिन फ्रेंच क्विजीन जो है वो तो वही 4-5 सॉस पे टिका हुआ है। एक चीज को या तो बॉईल किया जाता है, या तो ब्रॉईल किया जाता है, या तो ग्रिल किया जाता है, उसके साथ वो एक आध सॉस दिया जाता है, खत्म कहानी, दैट्स इट। और कुछ फैंसी नेम्स है, पुपोता, जानत्रे, दिस दैट, जो पता भी नहीं है। 11 कोर्स किसी को पूछा जाए, 11 चीज किसी को पता जाए, किसी को पता ही नहीं है।
पता। राइट। ट्रू।
लेकिन हम लोग अपने देश के बारे में खासियत नहीं जानते। किसी को पूछा जाए कश्मीरी वाजवान क्या होता है, पकड़ लीजिए दिल्ली में कितने तरह के बिरयानी मिलते हैं अभी. Let's take an example like a Muradabadi biryani will taste hugely different from Pahalwan की बिरयानी near जमा मस्जिद. ये तो अपना हाल है.
राइट.
तो ऐसे ही है हम लोग. जो भी अच्छे हैं 5,000 सालों से जिंदा है अच्छे ही होंगे.
That's so nice. Yeah, so matlab, thankfully now this perspective has been changing. Like you were saying about Hindi and English also ना. तो अभी ये चीज काफी ज्यादा बदल रही है and I'm so glad कि मतलब अभी लोग ऐसा नहीं सोचते हैं कि I think we should start taking more pride in our language also.
Yes, very much.
And this food, thankfully, a lot of home chefs, historians, food writers, storytellers, chefs, a lot of them अब मतलब काम कर रहे हैं ताकि regional food of India, local food, seasonal food, इन सब चीजों को we can take them up because
Yes.
there are so many recipes in our country which are actually dying, and I think it's so important to document them. इससे पहले कि वो भी मतलब with the oldest generation they go away because that is how we have lost so many cuisines which were existing.
People have started taking food seriously in maybe last 10 years.
Right.
And internet and social media, it is one of the primary catalysts in that. We have started appreciating food, appreciating the effort of documenting, the stories behind food, the different ingredients. Social media and internet boom, they have done an immense job in this field. This is what we should actually be thankful to them.
True. So from a generation where the recipe books were the best sellers in the cookbooks to a generation where the story lores or folklores related to food are more selling, it's actually a beautiful transition, I must say. And
yes, very much.
Right. So it's really difficult to master any cuisine of India, any micro cuisine also. There are so many spices, so many, you don't know किसके साथ क्या पेयर करना है, वो सब खिचड़ी बन जाएगा if you think कि सब कुछ डाल देते अच्छा बनेगा. So I think
मैं और एक कहानी बोलता हूँ. जब मैं लिखना चालू किया था ना in 2014, I used to think I am the god. मैं जो बोलता हूँ वही सच है, उसके बाहर कुछ हो ही नहीं सकता. और बाकी जो लोग हैं सारे बुद्धू हैं, एक मैं ही हूँ जो ज्ञानी हूँ. So now after 7 years or 6 years, I have started realizing कि I have just started learning कि क्या होता है और क्या सीखना चाहिए. Now I have started unlearning things and learning the actual thing.
Yeah.
तो वो उसमें तो अभी 6-7 साल लग गए हमको. तो एक टाइम तो लगना ही है, एक टाइम लगता है. 14 में लगता था कि वो जो मूवी का डायलॉग है ना, कभी कभी लगता है अपुनी भगवान है, तो वही लगता था कि अपुनी भगवान है. Then I started realizing, I started learning I do not know anything. And that's when the change started creeping in.
Right. It's so important to unlearn things, ना जो मतलब हम लोग सीख लेते हैं because obviously we grab knowledge even subconsciously. As you said that, I was thinking that we all are catalysts who are working towards bringing up the micro cuisines of India, rather I would say. So we all are a collective force who are working together to build this up.
We are the content creators. We document a slice of time, a slice of history. That's what we all are documenting. Be it Daily Food Works, be it Rocky Mayur, be it Foodka, be it whoever. We are documenting a slice of history. Say after 20, 30, 40 years, if people are looking back and they want to know what is it, तो कुछ पागल मिलेंगे जो तब जाके वो लिखते थे, वो बनाते थे, वो दिखाते थे. कुछ पागल ही मिलेंगे. And we are no less.
So for my grandmother, I am the insane one who always asks कि दादी गाँव में क्या मिलता था, and she's like, अरे अभी नहीं होता तुझे क्या है? Why you asking all this? दादी बताओ ना, because I don't want that those precious things which even my mother doesn't know. They can be lost. So अभी तो मतलब now I'm glad कि internationally also a lot of things are getting more popular. But as before 5 years, it was butter chicken, dal makhani, biryani, maximum, you would say a small chaat also at times, samosa. Now, thankfully, stuff like very, very regional stuff, their hemp seeds and all of these things are getting popular. And I am glad that our chefs, our home chefs, everyone has taken such a collective initiative, and we are embracing the changes. We are embracing
Yes,
every influence which is on our cuisine, be it Portugal, be it Irani, be it
we are the
Chinese.
documenters, we are the change makers,
Yeah,
and I
right,
take pride in that. Not for
right,
me, for
right.
all the content creators.
Hmm.
I take pride in that.
In the industry, yeah.
Yes.
So I think we are contributing a lot, and in fact, if you see it from a global point of view, how much are we giving to the world, who doesn't know that
Yes.
this is what is in the border of India.
Hmm.
That is so amazing.
For many countries, India is still a country of the snake charmers.
Yeah,
But we are the ones who are changing that perspective. Okay, boss? For many of us, Europeans, Europe still means London, and that's it. So, how many of us do we know about the Croatian cuisine? How many of us do we know about African food? So, all we know about burgers, pizzas, pastas, and some French food. That's it.
that's it, true.
So, the world is much, much beyond that.
Oh, and the French fries.
Yes, so French fries, sorry.
Yeah. So yeah, that is so true, and I think such influences will keep on coming. I think who knows which trader community will influence our cuisine
Correct.
next, and that is beautiful as we see the
Change is
change
beautiful.
happening. Laughing, the Tibetan street food, which just got popular. Now I don't know how far has it been existing in India, especially in Delhi, because I'm from Delhi. So how it has been just trending, and all the credit goes to the social media food bloggers.
Yes, very much, very much.
So I think as we go ahead, there's a lot to see and a lot of changes yet to see in what Indian food will look like. And also, I think for our coming generation, it's important to keep in books how the previous Indian food looked like.
Definitely, definitely. That's
Right.
a documentation which needs to be done.
Done. Yeah. Yeah. Great, sir. Thank you so much for providing your insight. And I love the talk. It was very insightful, especially, the influences which we were talking about. And I'm glad and I hope all the people who look at this video and if you're seeing and watching it till now, you also start taking pride in your local food from wherever region you are.
Thank you so much. Thanks from Team Foodka, Team Moha Mushkil, myself. Thanks for having me over. It was nice talking to you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for having
Thank you so much. Yeah, logging off. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.